tough one tonight. What was kind of the takeaway from your perspective?
Yeah, just the lapses again. Inability to close out the quarters. Into the second again with 2 minutes to go. It's a tied ball game. McGee's out, so we go back to our home base defense and we butcher that. Like the adjustments we made for McGee was one thing, and then obviously what we wanted to do when he was out of the lineup was to go back to what we've been doing, and we kept cooking the on-ball coverage. So it was a 3-pointer uncontested. Dave O'Hickey, it was an and one on the rim and then a layup. So there's 8 points down. It's tied with 2 minutes to go. Now we're down 4. We did the same in the third. Minute 20, it's a 5-point game. Lockie was great. Like he was serviceable in the absence of rain. He really stepped up and played the part. But he turned his hips too much, and Peterson goes back-to-back threes. And that was also off the back of 2 bad shot attempts by us. And so now it's a 5-point game. Now it's 13. And then we did it again in the fourth. We did a good job protecting the ball. We came out of a timeout. We wanted to get the ball moving from one side to the other because we started chucking them up unnecessarily. And there was like turnover, and every time we turned over the ball in that fourth, they scored out of it. So, and that was a real costly missed box out. So, we started to get it back to single digits, back out to 15 again, burn your last time out. And so the momentum swings were quick and short, and only in a couple of minutes progression. But Illawarra just capitalised every time we messed up.
Sure, that was kind of the thing that I was getting. That it felt like, especially for that first half, the majority of the game, you guys were right there, right in the mix, and then there's just a couple of key moments that flip it. What, from your perspective, what needs to change to kind of get that right, even in those key moments that maybe have swung the game?
I'll stay in the obvious. I got a lot of guys playing a lot of minutes, so fatigue's an issue. When you're playing guys for long stretches, I don't think I subbed Drew out in the first half. So, it's going to help when we get some dudes back, right? And I'm not trying to make excuses in that, but the answer to the question is that we can start rotating some guys off the bench. Because, again, like Mo's third game with us, he plays 36 minutes, right? Like, if he keeps putting up points like that, he'll keep playing 36 minutes. But, the idea of today, right, was to single game weekend. Let's go with the group that we wanted to go with. And this time, the role players did good. As I said, like Lockie was super serviceable in the absence of rain. Mo stepped up and had an incredible game, like an amazing game. Kyron Galloway was huge, right? This is probably one of his better games in a role that he was suited to. We probably needed a little bit more from the other guys. And so, there was missed layups. There was some bad shot attempts. There was some missed defensive assignments. But, right now, with the 7.5-man rotation, we need everybody on point, and today we just won't.
You obviously spoke highly of Mojave, and rightfully so. Obviously, a pretty incredible game, especially for a guy that's only just kind of come into the group. What do you make of his ability to kind of, he's not been a part of the Taipans for 5 years or however long it's been, and to just step in and play the way he did tonight?
Well, and again, like when we talk about what we want to teach in terms of the reads, when to cut, when to push the break, for Mo comes naturally. And so there's an element where we sit here and go, all right, let's lift the standard of everybody else to get to that position when we're all doing it. But no, Mo's been around a lot of basketball. He's played for a lot of good teams and been around a lot of coaches and the NBA circuit, and you pick up a few things along the way. And for a guy that's still learning the playbook, it also showed how effective you can be off the ball, right? And how purposeful you can be in your cuts and your actions when you've got it. It was impressive.
From your perspective, Mo, obviously coming into the team late October, whenever it was, 10 days ago, also to playing 35 minutes in an NBL game. What's this kind of period been like for you as an individual, I suppose?
Yeah, it's definitely been, a lot happening fast, but everybody's been super welcoming. The team, everybody at the organization's just been saying welcome back. Even the fans, the community, been super welcoming. So that was just great to feel that support as soon as I got here. And the guys just giving me confidence. Obviously the first 2 games struggled a little bit, just kind of trying to find my feet, but they were just giving me confidence, saying when I get the ball, shoot it, just do what you do, play your game. So I guess that's just where I kind of got that confidence from, was from those guys.
For sure, and look, I know it's tough to talk about, your own individual performance, especially after the team loses, but was it good to be able to go out there and have the impact, scoring the ball and the way you did tonight?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's, good to just help me try to find my feet with the team, kind of just start establishing a role within the team. I'm going to be here for, probably the rest of the season now. So, just trying to get off to a good start and try to get the team rolling with the guys that we got now.
How do you, obviously, coming off a loss and being new to the group, how do you kind of try and, influence and move the team in a positive direction off the court, and then, the next time you guys kind of take the field, 14th or whenever that is?
Yeah, I think it starts at training. We've been trying to get our practices to a standard that we feel like it needs to be at. And I think we've been getting better at that. I haven't been at too many of them, but the ones that I have been at have been, all getting better. We've been building up the intensity, and they've been getting to a good level. So I think that we're going to be prepared for the next time we get out on the floor.
And Chris on Zoom.
Yeah, just a couple. I'll start with you, Mo. After the first game that you played when you were here, Forde sort of talked about how this is a real opportunity for you to grab and make the most of it. How did you approach this chance, and why did you like, I guess, the opportunity that popped up when it did that Forde sort of gave you when he gave you the call?
Yeah, for sure. Even from the first phone call that I had with Forde, was just, it sounded like everything I was looking for. I was just, kind of sitting on the sidelines at home, watching a lot of basketball, but I wasn't with anybody. And then once I got that call, and he was telling me about how he envisioned me being a part of the team, and was kind of laying out what the opportunity was going to look like for me, it was definitely something that I wanted to take advantage of and try to make the most of, because it's been something that I've been waiting to get for a long time. So yeah, I'm definitely just trying to maximize and capitalize on every opportunity that I get.
We spoke after a couple of games when you were with New Zealand last year, and it looked like you were sort of turning into the player that we all thought you were going to become. And then you had a little bit of a time to wait to see what you were going to do next. What were your plans? If this call didn't come from Cairns and Forde, do you know what you were going to do next?
No, I didn't. I was just training, staying in shape, trying to stay ready for, whenever the call came. But, it came from Forde and got to come back up to Cairns, so I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity and excited for, the road ahead.
And like you touched on before, coming back here, it's almost a homecoming in terms of the NBL for you. A lot of things have changed, and certainly, the entire coaching staff and playing group has changed. But like you said before, one thing that hasn't changed is that home support that you get.
100%. Yeah, it's been great getting back up here, feeling all the love from the community. I think it's, sometimes good to have a little bit of a smaller community, because it just feels more like a family almost. I'm seeing a lot of the same faces that I saw when I was here a couple of years ago, and it's good to be able to just be back out there competing, trying to win for them.
Forde, coming into the game, it felt like you probably had to try something different with McGee, and you did by going small, and you didn't really go to Marcus a whole lot during the game. For the most part, did you like how that worked? I feel like it probably did work as well as you could have hoped, especially at the other end of the floor where you're able to stretch the floor.
Well, the reality is, we didn't have anybody to directly match up against him. He's an impressive specimen of a human being. He's massive, right? So we thought for every 2 points they'll go up, we'll go by 3. And so we wanted to stretch the floor a little bit. And, we ran that middle on-ball action where whoever had McGee on him to take that corner. And when it was composed and purposeful, we got some good looks out of it. And credit to Sko, he was battling hard, and he gives up about, I don't know, height advantage, but a foot maybe. But he battled, and we wanted to rotate from particular positions once he was in attack mode. But he's just an impressive basketball player. So it was frustrating when he was subbed out. We felt like we managed it for the most part, but then when he subbed out, when we felt like we capitalised, that's probably where Illawarra did the most damage. And credit to him. Every time Peatling moved to the 5, or they had Blanchfield at the 4, where I felt like we could then rotate Marcus through or look to go with some particular matchups. That's what we probably went a little bit too ISO ball, went too clunky, where we need to stay methodical in what we wanted to do. That's something we've got to work on.
And just lastly, just like Mo, after that first game you played, you sort of told me that you challenged him a little bit to grab this opportunity. Is it pleasing that it's not just words, that he's now living it and actually taking the chance?
Well, it's one game, so let's see if he can continue that form. One game.
Very good.
Done. Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you.